Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and with iOS 27, Apple added hundreds of new features and changes along with refinements and more, and they've added quite a few specifically to the camera and photos. So I wanted to share with you all of the different changes with photos and camera to help you get the most out of iOS 27. Now, if we go into the camera app, the first thing you'll see is that the camera controls have been rearranged. Compared with iOS 26, for example, they've moved them sort of to the top where you have a quick selection of things such as shared library, your live photos, as well as your flash, your exposure, and then also your format. You can change those simply by going into any one of those shortcuts and then adjusting the specific settings down at the bottom. That makes it a little bit easier this time around. They've also changed some of the controls down at the bottom if you go into your menu. So if we go in here, maybe we'll go into photos, you'll see we have additional options and they've rearranged it a little bit. So we have our photos, our shared library, as well as our different formats, our depth, live, aspect ratio, grid, and more. So all of the different things here are much easier to get to and allow you to change settings much faster. You'll also see visually they've changed a couple things. So if it recognizes macro, it's now highlighted, and maybe we go into video, you'll see that it highlights other options you can use. So it just puts a little ring around them where it's a slight visual upgrade and makes it look a little bit nicer. They've also improved quite a few things directly within the camera. For example, transitioning between different things such as different lenses. So if we transition maybe to 2x, 4x, 8x, back to 1x, you'll see that it's nice and smooth. They've improved this more than it was before, and they've also improved the orientation detection. So sometimes if you're in portrait mode, it could think it was in landscape mode, or vice versa, where if you're in landscape mode and then you want it to record, sometimes you would record accidentally in portrait mode and have to fix that while you're editing the video. This has been improved in iOS 27. Also, if you're utilizing low power mode, so if you're using that, trying to get back to a charger, let's switch over to low power mode here. We'll turn on low power mode. Then we'll go back into the camera. It still should be plenty fast. It won't be as fast as before, but you'll be able to snap a photo, not miss that photo, and it should be much faster and smoother while you're in low power mode. Even compared to regular mode, it seems to be just about the same. So it looks like they're just prioritizing the processing speed, and it's much better this time around. Also, they've replaced a couple settings here. Instead of having visual intelligence where it was before, they've now added a new Siri option. If we go into Siri, this replaces visual intelligence. You can still access it if you have camera control by pressing and holding, then you'll go directly into it, and then you can snap a photo of something to have it recognize. So if we just tap on the Siri icon there, you'll see that this processes. Now this is limited to Apple Intelligence supported devices and specific countries, but you'll see it understands that it's the iPhone 14 Pro. It's technically the 14 Pro Max, but that's close enough. And then if we go to ask a question, we could say, what color is this? And it should recognize that. It's all context aware. You can speak in natural language, and it says this iPhone appears to be deep purple. Also, we can look for it in other places such as Google, eBay, Amazon, TikTok, and Pinterest. So if you want to find it, maybe to purchase it on Amazon, it will show up there. So all of those things are built in directly right within the camera now, and you can utilize Siri here. So that's a much nicer way to do that. I think it's just faster and easier to access. Now in the future, it is rumored that maybe we'd be able to customize some of these quick controls at the top. We're not seeing that just yet, but hopefully we'll see that in the future. But I do like the way they've rearranged the controls, made it a little bit easier, everything's a little bit smoother, and seems to be faster. When it comes to photos, there's quite a few changes here, but there is no redesign. I know quite a few people wanted a redesign, but basically it's the same with the same customization with some new additions and things that they've updated. The first thing they've updated is saving a video frame as well as search. So search is much better. So if we go in maybe search for a video here, you'll see a few different videos. Maybe we'll go into this one. This is a short I created. We'll go ahead and pause it. And maybe we want to capture a video frame. And prior to this, we would technically use screenshot. Now we can go to the three-dot menu and then save a video frame. So that's much easier. Just tap on it. Now it's saved the frame from the video and you'll have that as a photo. And again, search is improved, so you could search for maybe a car and see what it comes up with. So it recognizes different cars, photos I've taken, Koenigsegg, for example, a Saab, things like that. It recognizes there's a car. Why it finds specific results with different wallpapers, I'm not sure. But again, this has been improved this time around. Now, if we go into our settings, within our settings for photos, if we go into our view options, within our view options, there's a new option to view full HDR. It says automatically adjust the display to show the complete dynamic range of HDR photos. So this is something you can enable if you want to see the full dynamic range. We have very bright displays now, so you can now display that. So you can keep it off if you don't. If I turn it on here, it would be very bright as far as the camera, but if you want to turn that on for yourself, it's now an option. Also, to go along with search, like I mentioned before, it's been enhanced, but you may need to enable this option where it has enhanced visual search. It says it privately matches places in your photos with an online Apple index so you can search by landmarks. So if you want to do that, that's been enhanced as well. One other thing that's in your view options that you may want to enable is you can now show rating controls. You may have already noticed this, but it says display star ratings on photos and videos and show the rating badge on thumbnails. So if we go back into our photos with that enabled, you'll see this little star in the upper right. Tap on it and then we could rate it based on whatever we'd like. And then of course, go back and find it later for anything that's rated 3 stars. Back within our collections, if we scroll down, go under utilities this time, we have a couple new categories within utilities to better help us organize. We have a new section called Captured by Me. It recognizes that you've captured it on your iPhone and then places it in this category. Also, we have identity documents, so that could be a license you took a photo of, or maybe a passport, something along those lines. It recognizes it and then places it in this sort category so that you can find it easier. So nice additions. Again, you don't have to show it. You can customize it, remove it, rearrange it however you'd like, and not show it at all if you don't want to show that within your categories. So again, if we scroll down, don't show utilities, and they go away. Now back within my recently saved photos, we'll go into the video frame that I captured, and if we tap on the eye or just scroll up here, scroll to the bottom, of course we have additional options with image search and Ask Siri, but we can also add keywords. So maybe we want to better organize this. We could say iOS 27, put a little comma, and then maybe video capture. We can do that and then save that, and those are our keywords. So if we save those, we'll see them at the bottom, and then it better helps us find those if we search for them. Now, if we go into one of my photos, these are one of the many I captured for the weekend follow-up video. They're real photos that I create, and if we go in here, we can edit these, and we have some new tools. Now, this is on Apple Intelligence-supported devices, and if we go into Tools, we have Cleanup, which we had before, but it's been enhanced. We also have Extend and Reframe. If we want to clean up, we can go into Cleanup. It may have to prepare cleaning up. Once it's done preparing, it's going to highlight things it may want to delete. Let's tap on this one and then tap Cleanup, and we'll see if it gets rid of this phone here on the left. So it says cleaning up your photo. This is done on device, so it may take a few minutes here. We'll let it finish. I'll show you in real time this one particular edit so you can see how long it takes on a 17 Pro Max. So this is completely normal, and then we'll see how good this is as far as when it removes the phone. That's an iPhone Air, and now it's gone. It kept the shadow here underneath the phone that we already have. It looks nice and clean. Let's get rid of that. And you can see what it looks like. So again, it's a little bit tricky. Let's see if we can zoom out, zoom back into the area it deleted it. It looks pretty good. Let's reset this here. We'll put that back, reset, and it's back. Now, when it comes to the other options, if we go out of this, go to Extend, we can extend the photo outside the frame. So maybe we want to make it bigger like this, tap Extend, and again, it's going to extend outside the frame that you've already captured. This is helpful if maybe you want to reframe something, maybe you don't have it centered, you want to change it around a little bit. It can then generate or extend your photo. Again, I'm showing you in real time how long this takes. It does take a little bit of time because it's on device, but again, we'll give it just a moment and see what it comes up with here. So there we go. It's a little bit highlighted in the center, and it's not exactly what I would like. Tap to see the original, and that's where it's extended. So you could try this multiple times. It got the lighting right outside the area here where I wouldn't expect it. So again, that's what it looked like. That's what it looks like now. Now, finally, Reframe is probably my favorite enhancement. If we go to Reframe, we can actually change the photo's perspective. So maybe you wanted it captured from the side. You can drag it here like this and reframe. So maybe I want it from this angle or this angle, whatever we'd like. Let's try it from this angle and tap Reframe and see what it comes up with. Again, in real time, we're reframing the photo. It takes a moment on device. The device does get a bit warm while it's processing this, but it's pretty impressive that we can reframe a photo. And this is one of the most impressive things Apple showed off when they introduced iOS 27. So again, we'll give it just a moment here. It's reframing my photo, and there we go. So it's reframed. We can tap to see the original. There's the reframed version. Now you can't get too crazy with it, but it understood it was an iPhone, gave it a little bit more depth here, and you can see what it looks like. So I think that's pretty impressive that it can do that. And again, you can change it however you'd like. Also, you can now edit full photos or full raw photos. So if you're utilizing your editing tools before you weren't able to do that, now you can edit full raw photos. If we take a look at this one, again, this was captured with a Sony. It's a 50 megapixel photo. This is a JPEG, but you can capture raw as well. If we go back into our collections, maybe go into Among the Trees, and then we go to the option in the upper right and start a slideshow, slideshows now have additional options. So if we tap on it, we can tap on Customize, and we have a couple different options here. We have Transition and Duration. We can change the transition type. You've got Cut, Crossfade, Fade to Black, Exposure Bleed, Pan, Scale, Rotate, and Wipe. So maybe we'll change it to Wipe. Total Length. We can change the full length of the actual slideshow and then change the length per photo. So maybe we want to show a photo for 10 seconds each, or maybe even up to a minute each. You can do that and extend this out. So again, we can have it transition quickly now, and now it's playing, and you'll see that it's changing quickly based on our settings. Now, if we go back here and we scroll down, shared albums get a few enhancements this time around. They're now in full resolution, and I don't think many of us knew they weren't full resolution before, and you can now share your albums with Android phones and Windows. If we go into a shared album, now I'm within an album that I created, just a simple one here, and if we go to our options, we can go to Upgrade Shared Album. You'll see here it says Upgrade Shared Album. You can now share full resolution photos and videos and choose different roles for each participant, including adding, deleting, and commenting. You can now share invitations using Messages or any other messaging app. So if you get started here, they will have to be on iOS 27. So you may want to hold off on doing this, but you will have those options in the future. So now we're creating a new album, and with creating a new album, we have some new options. You can now make the album temporary. So if we turn this on, the album can be temporary, and it says allow this album to expire. After 30 days, any photos or videos not saved to your library will be deleted. If we go into our sharing options, within our sharing options, you can access it with people you choose or anyone with a link, again, sharing to Android or Windows devices. And then you have access requests. So again, if we go back, tap the little check mark. Now I've created the album, and if we go to our options in the bottom left, you'll see we have a few different options here. So again, sort by, view options, and we can now comment on these particular photos, and we can also leave an emoji on the photo. So again, if we want to maybe comment on it, leave a little emoji, we now have that option. We have the little comment bar or box, so we can actually comment on each individual photo. It's also now easier to save individual photos directly here. So you can just tap the icon and save it directly to your photo library. And if we go into our activity here, you'll see that we can see anything that's commented on or has an emoji, and we have a few different options to save all 6 photos at once or delete them. So again, some nice, useful features that they've added, but nothing groundbreaking here, but it makes sharing photo albums a little bit nicer. If we tap on something that's identified as a food item, tap on the little eye here, we'll get a couple different options to ask Siri, do an image search, but also look up nutrition, and we have a new icon here with a little fork and knife. If we tap on look up nutrition, it will load nutrition details based on what it sees, a burger with French fries, nutrition value low, and it gives us additional information here. So these are things that are new if you want to know about maybe what you're eating. Also, if we tap on our account ID in the upper right here, you'll see all of the different photos and videos that are synced. But if we scroll down here, you'll see we have an option to sync immediately. If we go into this, we can say for today or off and have it sync immediately. And it says 11 hours remaining. So it will give you a time frame as far as syncing all of that information. It says iCloud Photos will prioritize syncing as soon as new items enter your photo library. Sync immediately may affect battery and cellular usage and will pause if low power mode or low data modes are enabled. So just keep that in mind. You have that option now if you want to use that. And so that's everything with photos and camera in iOS 27, some nice useful features, some changes to the menu, some enhancements, speed improvements, and much more. Let me know your favorite photo feature or camera feature in the comments below. And of course, I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. If you haven't subscribed already though, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.